All right, welcome everyone to a quick episode of Take Note. I'm Jennifer West, the Artistic Director of Muse West Concerts, and I am joined with the winner of the 2019 Avery Fisher Career Grant, Henry Kramer. Henry, I'm from Alberta, so you were at a little competition in Alberta a few years ago in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to say hi to our Honans friends in Calgary?
Hello, Honen's friends. I wish I could go back to Calgary. I
You,
love it there.
you wish you could go to Banff to the beautiful mountains.
Banff too, yeah, yeah. Western
Um,
Canada,
Yeah, it's
love it.
beautiful, beautiful spot. And do you have any words in French or Flemish for your friends at the Queen Elizabeth in Belgium?
Goedenavond, dames en heren.
Wow.
And uh, je suis en la main avec mes parents et Euh, je suis très heureuse d'être ici avec toi pour ces conversations.
Fantastique, ton français est magnifique. On veut dire bonjour et bonsoir à tous nos amis en Belgique qui sont à Bruxelles. Hello to everyone in Brussels that might have tuned in. Henry has a live stream concert with us on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, but you can catch it when you
Hmm.
wake up. Um, what have you prepared for us?
Well, this is kind of like bunch of music videos that I made in my apartment. I think we started maybe in April and all the way into June. I was just recording lots of pieces and got all set up with the mics and stuff. The first piece that I recorded was the English Suite Number 3 by Bach. And right when quarantine started, I just had a renewed obsession with Bach and was reading through Goldberg variations and all the partitas and prelude and fugues. And I had played this English suite when I was a teenager, but I just love it so much. Uh, I think this one really has so much gusto and strength and counterpoint. It's really beautiful, beautiful counterpoint, which is in all the suites, but especially in this one, even in the simpler dances, you get these beautiful voice layerings. And I just found that it was like my, keeping me fortified and feeding my musical soul, all this Bach music. So I thought, well, let's make a recording of it. And so that opens the program, which I think is a great opener. It's really substantial, serving you the big course right away. And that's followed by four Etudes Tableau from Rachmaninoff's Opus 39 set. And this was another piece that I've worked on over the years, but being home all the time, I thought, okay, let's get the whole set going. So this was sort of like halfway through my um, preparation of that. And my apartment has a very big window looking out to a train track. And there was because these are like picture pieces, étude tableau. There was something very beautiful I found in like watching the trains pass by in the background, or if it was raining, or the lighting on the window uh, as the scenery for this music. I thought it worked really nicely, so I was happy with how those turned out. Um, and then I recorded two calmer pieces, as a sort of respite from the rigorousness of these Rachmaninoff and Bach suite. Um, and those were the Raindrop Prelude from Chopin's Opus 28 set, and also in D flat, a piece by William Grant Still called Summerland, which is from Three Visions for Piano. And if people aren't familiar with him, he's was one of the great American composers, and I believe the first African American composer who led a symphony orchestra and had an opera performed in the United States. So he's a very important figure. And I remember first hearing his music when I was on From the Top, which is a radio show here in America. And one of the other
Great
performers,
show. It's a wonderful
yeah,
show. It's I think every
yeah.
Sunday night. Here it's on at 7 p.m. But I don't
Oh,
know.
they have it there too. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's on um, KUSC and WQXR both feature it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. So that that I'm sorry, I'm having like a technical issue on
no
my
problem.
end where okay, here we go. I'm back. So another performer on the show played Mother and Child, which is from a violin suite by him, and I thought it was so beautiful. And I wrote to his estate, to ask more about the music. And his daughter wrote me back with a whole folder of music and newspaper articles about her father. And I, for the life of me, was trying to find it. I'm home with my parents, and I couldn't find it. It must have been lost in the many moves that I've done in my life. But um, I believe this was one of the pieces she suggested to me, and it's very, very beautiful. It feels like a quintessential summer evening, and very vocal quality to the writing. Um, and I think it's a good entry point for people who maybe don't know this composer. And finally, the program closes with the last two movements of the Tombeau de Couperin by one of my personal favorites, Maurice Ravel, whose music has always been at the forefront of my repertoire since I can remember, or since I first heard his music. So, and this was a piece I was supposed to be playing in several recitals, beginning in March and into the summer, which of course were postponed. So, but I didn't want to just throw it out, so I kept working on it. And so this is technically the first performance of those pieces for people,
That is
from me.
that
Yeah.
is really exciting. How have you stayed motivated during the pandemic? Like motivated to practice, motivated to keep up old repertoire, learn new repertoire. How have you managed that? Because I can, you know, having spoken to some of my friends that are freelance artists in different fields, it is really challenging.
Yeah. Um, well, I have used the time to spend, allowing myself to be curious in ways that sometimes you can't always have the luxury of when you're concertizing. So for me, it's been a lot of downloading music off IMSLP, bringing all my scores, reading through everything, and I will work on pieces and then move to another one. So it's kind of like reminds me of when I was a kid. I used to, I wanted to play everything, so I would read this Beethoven sonata one week and then next week this one. And I feel like for me, that's sort of how pieces come into my repertoire. It's never like, okay, I got to learn this and then it's done and then I play it and bye bye. It's like over time, I keep coming back to them and then suddenly they reveal themselves as ready for a concert or the timing is right. But I feel like that way I also learn them deeper because they kind of grow in me like seeds, so I'll read Hammerklavier and the first time it's like, what? And then next time I go, that seed has grown a little bit and it makes more sense. And then, finally when you have the concert, you obviously work really hard for that. But I was really lucky to have some opportunities to perform on stage, but for recorded concerts uh, just over the summer. So that also was motivating. And, just to be on stage, even if there wasn't an audience there, was very affirming. And beyond just playing the piano, I've tried to use the time to read a lot and fill in my understanding of the composers. And also I'm just listening to so much music. I'm obsessed with YouTube videos, and um, I'm on Spotify every day. I'm listening to everything, and because I just need it so much, and I'm obsessed with watching live concerts on YouTube. That thankfully we have that available to us. So that helps me stay. Um, I mean, I don't know. It's no matter if I'm playing or not, I can't ever feel like I need the music. No matter what, even if I'm not performing. So
I totally understand that sentiment. Um, my own personal reflection has been, um, oh my goodness, when is the next time I'm going to hear an orchestra or choir live?
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. There's no clear answer to that. And, you know, March turned into April, turned into May, turned into June,
yeah.
and at the end of this week it's August. And, you know,
I know.
smaller chamber concerts seem, at least where we are in Canada, there will be a safe way to have those. If this is the extent of our second wave, which it seems like it hopefully might be, um, but I totally understand that there's like this, there's a space that needs to be filled. Um, and as our final question for you today, are there any live streams that you recommend for our listeners that you've loved, or any books you've read this summer that you've loved?
Um, I well, of course, I'm sure everybody's seen it, but Martha Argerich played Chopin Third Sonata, which just dropped like a Beyonce album. Like I had no idea it was gonna happen, and um,
Like
and
Taylor
she
Swift
hasn't. Yeah,
producing all
right,
of the
right.
routines.
Like all the divas, Taylor Swift, Martha Argerich, they just have to surprise us. And so that was really amazing to see. Um, and I played on this Rockport Timber Series virtual concert
Mm-hmm.
um, at the Shaylin Liu Center, and they're doing all this. They had George Lee, and they had have a quartet, and they're doing so many concerts. And what's great is like it's in the hall, so it's got the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful sound, and obviously the view is amazing. So I was enjoying those a lot, and then Tetzlaff, Beethoven Concerto. I'm watching everything. I don't know. I'm sure everybody's seen these, but I also am reading a book, the new biography by Debussy, who I'm very embarrassed to say I cannot remember the uh,
The author.
author, but it's very good. And I was playing a lot of Debussy at the same time. And I also read this great book by Kathy Park Hong, who's a poet, and this is her first prose novel, but it's kind of something of a memoir called Minor Feelings, and it talks about her experience as a Korean American and an artist, and I thought she just writes so brilliantly. I couldn't put that book down. So if anybody's interested in that, yeah.
Those sound like great recommendations. And our recommendation is that you definitely catch Henry's recital with us on Thursday. And tickets are by donation. So folks that make a donation have access to the YouTube. And that will be available Thursday at 5 p.m. for those who make their donation. And thank you again, Henry, for sharing your time with us today and um, keeping us up to date on how you've been doing throughout this whole experience and teaching online and just keeping on playing and learning and reading music. So we really look forward to your recital on Thursday.
Thank you, Jen. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.